Hello everybody, it is Mickey Dog here, and yes, you read the title correctly. This is a 44-2 gameplay with the UZI. Yes, the UZI. Probably the worst submachine gun in the game. Now, before I talk about my setup, the perks that I use, the kill streaks that I use, my attachments, and how I played this map, the map Hanoi, to do as well as I did with the UZI. I'm first going to talk about the few little events that happened this morning, all leading up to my cup of noodles. So, I was walking home from swim practice, just came home, it's about 9:30. My swim practice was from 6:40 in the morning to 8:40 in the morning, and I hadn't eaten breakfast, so I was starving, and I was really craving a cup of noodles. Something simple, something plain, something fast, get some carbs in me. I was really hungry after a 2-hour-long swim. I had burned a lot of calories, and I just wanted a cup of noodles. God damn it, just give me my cup of noodles, right? So, I'm walking home, and right before I reach my cup of noodles, I stub my toe against a chair. I'm just, why? Ow, that hurt. And why do you have to be so stupid, Mickey? Why? Do you guys ever get mad at yourself for, having such silly accidents like that? Like stubbing your toe, maybe like there's this low ledge over your head and you stand up and, or maybe the ceiling's really low or something, maybe you're under a little structure and you just stand up and you hit your head and something like that, something silly, you get a splinter, and you just get really mad at yourself for, having such a silly accident. Because this happens to me all the time. I am an accident-prone person. I hurt myself all the time. So, stubbing my toe wasn't the worst of things that have ever happened to me, but still, it hurt a lot. I was holding my toe, and it hurt. Not to mention I had broken a nail. Hence why, you should always cut your toenails, fingernails before they get too long, or else they're gonna break, and then you're gonna have some ugly, jagged nails. And this topic of me being accident prone reminds me of the first time when I walked to school by myself. I was in the 4th grade. I realized that I'm totally at age to walk to school by myself. So I was about 9, walking to school, and the thing there's only one traffic light between my house and my school, my elementary school. So, only one traffic light that I have to pass, and because my mom was a little bit worried that I might not get through the traffic light okay, she just came with me just up to the traffic light, it's just across the street. And so, she wouldn't cross with me, because that would be just a total waste of time. You have to cross the intersection twice. She'd just walk me up to the traffic light and then just make sure that I walked across safely. So, there I am. I'm walking along the crosswalk, crossing the intersection, and because, 9-year-old me is a little bit worried about, I'm a little bit scared. It is my first time ever walking by myself, so I am constantly turning around and saying goodbye to my mom, waving, saying goodbye to my mom, and I did this about at least 5 times, turning around and waving goodbye to my mom. And on the 5th and final time that I turn around and wave goodbye to my mom, as I am walking backwards, waving goodbye, I walk directly into the traffic light, hitting the back of my head. And oh my god, I remember it had hurt so much for some strange reason, hitting my head against the traffic light. And there I was in the middle of this intersection, holding my head, still walking backwards, going ow, ow, ow. And the worst part about it was that there were tons of people at the intersection watching me. Not to mention, a whole bunch of them were kids that went to the exact same elementary school that I went to. And sadly, I knew some of them. So as soon as I got to school, everybody was making fun of me. And I just constantly making fun of me for walking backwards, for, being, I guess, a mommy's boy, waving goodbye to my mom a million times. I mean, I was already going to get teased for doing that, but now they get to tease me for hitting my head against a traffic light. And oh my god, that was probably the most embarrassing moment of my life. You know, I haven't had many embarrassing things happen to me. So, yeah, that's probably the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. 4th grade, first time I ever walked to school by myself. But anyways, back to the cup noodles. So, I pour a glass of water. I get a glass of water, you know, wanting to boil some water for the cup noodles. But then I noticed that I had left an apple on the counter. So, from the morning. So, you know, I decided, hey, I had better put this apple back into the fridge. But because originally I had my mind set on boiling some water, you know, putting an object into the microwave, I had put the apple into the microwave instead of the fridge. And it was already wrapped in plastic wrap. So, and I set the microwave on high and set the timer for 2 minutes. And I pressed start. And the thing is that I didn't notice the smoke that was coming out of the microwave when it was heating up the apple because I had decided to take a dump. So when I finished taking my dump, I come back to find some heated up plastic wrap and a really small burnt apple, black and burnt. And the reason why it had shrunk was because the microwave had evaporated all of the water inside the apple, so the apple had shrunk. And I just went, wow, did I really do that? No, I mean, it was just a stupid, silly thing that I thought I'd mention to you guys. So, you know, I have to clean it up, and then I finally get my cup of noodles ready. I had poured the water, let it settle, but then, you know, for some reason, coming back, I can't find my cup of noodles. You know, I'm looking around, and I had looked around for over literally half an hour, and I had just given up because I did not want to keep on searching. I was really hungry, and I decided just to make another cup of noodles. But then, for no reason at all, I decided to look into the freezer, and what do you know? There's my cold, delicious cup of noodles in the freezer. Cold and delicious. Cold and wet. Not necessarily frozen yet, because it had only been half an hour. So, I got my cold and wet noodles. Yay me, you know. And yes, I do end up microwaving it again, and I do have some delicious cup noodles. But yeah, that was a little event that happened right after swim practice, and now I'm doing this commentary. So yeah, okay, now I'll talk about the gameplay and how I did so well with the UZI on this map and what I did to do so well with the UZI. Now, the one thing that everybody knows about the UZI is its horrendous recoil. I mean, it kicks like a mule, and it just has horrible iron sights, which doesn't help the recoil that it has. Not to mention, I believe it is a 4-shot kill. You know, I think it's a 3-shot kill up close, but most of the time you will have to put 4 bullets into your enemy just to kill them. Now, the one way that you could fix that is adding rapid fire, but from my experience, using rapid fire with the UZI just doesn't work, because when you can't see what you're shooting at, and you have this horrific recoil, shooting 20% faster really isn't the best thing to do. So I decided to put the grip on the UZI, just because it makes it recoil a lot easier to handle, and just made my life so much easier. So in my opinion, the best attachment for the UZI is the grip attachment. Now, yes, I am using it with the Tiger Camo, just because everybody knows Tiger Camo gives you stopping power and less recoil, which is just what the UZI needs. And, okay, the perk setup that I'm using is Flak Jacket, Sleight of Hand, and Marathon. Flak Jacket and Marathon, because I love using those 2 perks together. They work so perfectly. You can run through claymores, and you can capture flags with ease. And Sleight of Hand, just because, well, you really do need the faster aim down sight with the UZI. And yes, you could put steady aim on the UZI, maybe rock extended mags and steady aim, or maybe even rapid fire, and just so they don't have to deal with the iron sights. But there will be times when you need to aim down sight, so I would recommend grip. And just because you do run out of bullets pretty quickly, you do need Sleight of Hand. Not to mention the aim down sight really does help, seeing how you're already at a disadvantage with the horrible iron sights. You need to get your sights on the enemy as quickly and easily as possible. And the one thing that I'd like to mention about Hanoi is that never ever have the B flag. This is that one map where you do not want to have the B flag. You want to have A and C, and you hold a spawn trap. The enemy can only spawn in this little house where I am right now, and right on top of the B flag. Those are the only two spawns that they have. And you can have half of your team watching over B and the other half of your team at this little house. That is how you play Hanoi. I never ever keep B on the map Hanoi. Always have A and C. 44-2 with the UZI. Bye, y'all.